right. Back. Welcome to the podcast, Not So Famous Podcast. I am your host, Manager Marco, and my co-host is back this week.
What is good?
Thank you for coming back. No, you are still alive. We didn't.
Yes,
Everybody's asking me. I said,
yes,
no, crazy nonsense people. She was just
yes. I'm still
busy,
here, still kicking it in these streets.
still kicking it. I gotta say, I missed you. I could have used you there in the.
Yeah.
I could have used you there for the for those interviews, but that's okay.
I wish I could have been there. I had to pick up my mom from Florida. You can't put mom in an Uber, when she comes to Jersey to see us. So,
Right.
I mean, I could have. It just would have been
she's your
would have been an
mom.
asshole move.
Yeah, it would have been an asshole move, but I would have done it. I don't know about you, but I would have done it.
Hence
But
an asshole move.
yeah, I mean, it would have been an asshole move. But you had an amazing last week, right? I saw it on
Yeah.
Facebook. I feel like a scumbag because I didn't go.
Yeah, no. It was a busy night. So what was that? June 4th, I was supposed to go in for round 25 of chemo. And I'm so lucky because I reached out to my doctor and I was like, listen, I'm doing this thing. You
Yeah,
know, I'm gonna be a hometown hero at the Phillies game. Can we either skip? I was really trying to skip
yeah,
chemo versus reschedule, but he's like,
sure,
we're not going to skip, but we'll
right,
reschedule.
right.
So tomorrow I'm going in for round 25.
Now, do you have a skit for round 25?
I did. So I do have, and I put it on my social media, and I'm not going to talk about it
Okay.
tonight. I can't. It's a surprise.
Come on, you're supposed to
Gotta,
break it on the art
you
show.
gotta
Art
tune in
show.
tomorrow. So I do have a skit, but
Okay.
I'm not doing it tomorrow because I have to practice for something else. And I'll be announcing that tomorrow why I don't have a skit.
We should
So
have scheduled this different. I needed the exclusive here.
yeah.
I should have scheduled this different.
Yeah, I'm gonna announce it tomorrow. For me, it's very exciting
Okay.
for the community world, for the cancer community world
Awesome.
awareness. I'm
Yeah.
super excited about it. But I do need, if anyone knows how to do makeup, please reach out to me because for my next skit, I need my makeup done.
You need a makeup artist or something?
I need someone to do, like, I don't wear makeup. I don't
Okay.
know how to necessarily do makeup.
Okay.
I don't even know how to put an eyelash on. So,
Are you serious?
yes, I don't know how to do any of that stuff.
Interesting.
And so this round, my next skit, I'm going to be doing not tomorrow. I'm
Okay.
going to be a female. So I am a female, just so everyone knows, like I'm not,
Hope so.
I identify as she. So,
Eh,
not to get it twisted. I know my voice changed a little bit since the diagnosis, but I'm
has it
still
really?
a little bit. Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But, as I'm cool with it as long as I don't sound like, I'm Angela, as long as I don't sound like an Andrew, I think I'm okay with
Right.
it, right?
Right. And you were at the Phillies game, right? You had a nice hometown hero at the Phillies game. I
Yeah.
saw that.
Yeah. So shout out to the Crawfords, Karen and Bob and my husband. They, nominated me for the hometown hero. And I didn't realize it wasn't televised until afterwards because to change a base when the ground crew comes on,
Yeah.
you literally have 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mhm.
So when I first came out, the girl told me kind of how to put the base in, but she didn't tell me I had to run. So we come out of the dugout and this bitch took off. And I am just like,
Wow.
hold up. I don't run. So I had to run. I'm
on.
like, do you realize I have lung cancer and you're making me run
The
across
worst.
the field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
But I
on.
mean, I did it. I hope I didn't look like a jackass trying to run, but the base is massive. Did you see the base?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They dig them in there. Yeah.
I mean, the base is huge
Right. Right.
and it's heavy and it's
Yeah.
awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 5 foot, and I'm trying to sprint across this field in front of all these people with this awkward, heavy
Yeah.
base that was like the size of me. But in the end, it was just amazing to spread that word. So
Yeah.
shout out to everyone who showed up. Shout out to everyone who constantly supports me because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everyone. I really wouldn't.
Did you get Did you get like a reaction? Like, did the fans like give you a stand O or something like that?
Yeah. So, and it's funny because there was a lot of my own people there, like my supporters, people who know me.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were leaving the stadium, some guy was like, "Hey, you're the girl from the I saw you out there on the field and I saw your video." And,
Mm-hmm.
so it was really cool. But I was telling my husband the other day, I went into Walmart and there was like 3 people who stopped me
Really?
and were like, "Hey, I know who you are." And 2 of them was simply from my videos that I put on YouTube and social
How great is
media.
that?
Yeah, and then there was one guy who was like, he saw it somewhere, he was at the game, and he had recognized me, which is, cool because, yeah, I was wearing a hat and everything, so I didn't think I was that maybe my tattoos, who knows why people recognize me.
I mean, at least they
So,
recognize you, right? Could be a lot worse.
yeah, I met the Philly Fanatic.
Yeah, he's great, right?
So he was cool. I didn't meet anyone else. I didn't
No,
get to meet no, I didn't get to meet any players. I didn't get to keep the base either. People were curious about that.
you didn't get to keep the base. They didn't even give it to you.
No.
Come on.
No, and my husband, God bless his soul, he asked them like, "Hey, like, can we keep the base?" And the guy's like, "No, but you can buy it." So they wanted like $350 for this base.
Oh,
I was
jeez.
like, "What are we gonna do with it? No one's gonna sign it. Like, I can see if the whole Phillies team signed
Yeah,
it, then we
yeah,
would do it."
yeah.
But no, it was just a regular base that I could have gotten
Right,
off Amazon for like 40 bills.
right, right. So, speaking of your husband, right? So,
Yes.
I don't know if it's so much me or you, but I poked around and see if we can have him on, and he's been nice enough to join us tonight. So I'm gonna bring in your husband right
Yes. Yes.
now.
Yes. Yes. He's
It's
such a good sport.
he is a good sport. My
Ooh.
man Ron, what's going
There
on?
he is.
There he is,
Thanks
Ron.
for having me, man.
Thanks for coming on because I'm gonna try to ask you some tough, embarrassing questions. No, I
I'll
won't
see
do
what I can do. Bring them.
that. So yeah, welcome, man. Thank you for taking the time
Yeah, of course.
and I I love Ann. She's great. I happen to the story, right? I had her on because I like her story, and we kind of knew each other.
Yeah.
We had a failed first date years ago, right? Failed, and she's become a friend and her story and everything, and then she brings you up. I saw she got married, and I'm like, man, it takes a hell of a man. So what? Tell me this. Tell me the story. How do you and Ann, first of all, how you guys know each other? That's
All right,
that's first and foremost.
So we met. You can't tell now, but I used to be a big CrossFitter. So we met at CrossFit actually about
Okay.
9 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
So there was always kind of like off and on kind of play back and forth, but nothing ever materialized a little bit. I did invite her to my work Christmas dinner, which she turned me down. So I was like,
Turn you down. Whoa, 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 whoa,
like,
whoa,
let me move
whoa.
on from this, I guess.
Why did you turn him down, Ange?
So there was a lot of chemistry, and everyone at CrossFit's like, "Oh, you guys would make the perfect couple," and everyone was trying to turn us on to each other, and
Sure.
it just was like,
Not enough chemistry, apparently.
no, you stop. That's not true at all. So, but like it
Sure
was
sounds like it.
no.
Come on,
So,
Ange.
but, it's like you don't shit where you eat. You know what I mean? And if something went bad, then I'm not leaving my CrossFit gym. You gotta go. Like, it's just and then there was that time where I was not single, he was single, and then when I was single, he wasn't single.
Okay.
Timing with Ron and I was everything, and what was meant to be was going to be. I
Right.
do regret, just with having the diagnosis, not having more time.
Okay.
I mean,
With-
honestly, we were best of friends. I mean, for years we were best of friends, and I don't think we
Yeah.
really wanted to mess that up either.
Yes.
And so anyway, so when I found out about her diagnosis, actually, I'm in a law enforcement motorcycle club. So I said, I talked to the club and said, "Hey, we need to do something for this girl. It's one of my, So we just wanted to kind of raise support, raise awareness, more lift her spirits than anything financial, although we did get her some money. But it was more to lift her spirits and say, hey, you're not here by yourself.
Right.
And, that kind of turned into the next thing. Actually, funny story is, so we auctioned off a date for Ange that night. So, I'm coming out of pocket because there ain't nobody else taking her on a date. So
Damn right.
I put out 5 bills. I took her on a date, and we went from there.
I'm going to stop you right there because that was not true.
It is true. It is true.
So that you said no one was going to take her out on a date. First of all, I
wasn't letting anybody else.
That's what I know. I know what he meant.
Okay.
He wasn't going to let anybody get to you.
All right.
That's what he meant.
So before that, Ron already knows this because I told him afterwards. Like before that, they were like, my friends were like, well, let's just auction off a date for you. And I was like, listen, if Ron isn't the one who gets this date, then I'm not doing it. So it was like kind of a ploy to, if he's not the one who doesn't get this, like he has to get this date. So the bidding just kind of started, and there was like 2 guys in the back, and I was so uncertain. And this guy just kept bidding, and I'm starting to really get concerned. And by the time it got to 500, I told my friend, I said, you got to cut it now. Like, cut it now. No one else needs to bid, because otherwise this guy's going to be like, hey, expecting a date.
Right.
And I didn't want to go on a date with him. I wanted to go with Ron, and I didn't, so,
And I just want to be clear, I paid up. I paid my $500.
Listen, I could tell you're a man of your word. You paid up. I know you did.
So anyway, we went out, had a good time. We're best of friends, and I think we just saw. A lot of my friends said I was crazy. Listen, she has a terminal illness.
Sure.
Be careful. Not that she's a bad person, but be careful. You're going to get your heart broke. At the end of the day, you know where the end of the road goes.
Yeah.
You know what? At the end of the day, everybody deserves to be loved, no matter their circumstances. And if it's the right, it's the right. And it was the right. So.
I didn't know this. Who said you were crazy?
Hey, you don't reveal your sources.
That's right. And listen, it does take a little crazy to be with Ange. I'm going to be honest with you. So I already know.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah, it takes a lot of crazy to match her crazy, which I don't think is matchable.
That's right.
I'm a good crazy. Yeah.
You're an interesting cat. Yeah, you are. Yeah. You're something. So Ange, when did you know? Like, so was it that night you were like, all right, this guy's he's my person?
It really was the ride for Ange, and it just was like the timing was right. And I think that with my diagnosis, you really learn to not take a risk, but kind of go after and get what it is that you need in your life and what you deserve in your life.
Right.
And, with Ron, it just was like, I'm going to just go with my feelings,
Sure, of course. And then look at you now.
I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. And, who's crazy now? Because, I think people thought that, in the beginning of our relationship, I kept saying, well, it's only 2 Christmases you have to do with me, right? Like, it's only one Valentine's Day you got to do with me. And it's only, one birthday. So, but now, so hopefully Ron's not like, well, shit, how many more Christmases and birthdays do I got to pay out for this bitch?
Now, Ron, do you attack this the same way she does with the joking around and? Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, honestly, nothing in our life is. I don't want to say nothing serious, but I'm saying no subject is off limits. And honestly, if you don't laugh, you kill yourself inside. We find humor in everything, and I can find humor in anything. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life.
Sure.
And I've always tackled things that way. It's who I am, and we have a similar personality. So nothing's off limits. I can tell you that.
Does she hit you with the cancer fart?
Believe me, does she hit me with the cancer fart? I'll tell you a story real quick. She killed me for telling me.
Please do. Yes.
Oh, this is bad.
So she has chemo, right? And so I put her to bed. I come downstairs. I'm like, what is that smell? Right. So I'm like, it smells like somebody shit themselves down here. So I picked up the blanket she was in. It's in the blanket. I mean, I had to open
Oh,
the window.
it hung on to the blanket.
Right. I'm like, she's been upstairs for 30 minutes.
He's gonna have to throw the blanket away. It's not my fault.
It's definitely not your fault.
It's not my fault.
I mean, it hit either. That would happen to any one of us.
Yeah.
Well, no, but like, I mean, specifically, like breaking wind, farting, whatever you want to call it, is bad enough. But when you add chemo to it, it's a whole nother level.
Right.
Let me just tell you this, Marco. I told you, I've known her for 8 years.
Right.
It ain't a chemo fart. It's an Ange fart. And that's just the way it's been. I mean,
But she
can blame it on whatever she wants to blame
she's
it
trying to blame it on chemo. She's trying to pass it off on. What's wrong with you, Ange? You trying to blame it on chemo?
I'm dying from the inside out. You know that, right?
Yeah, I think she's been for 41 years. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, that's a revelation. You I can't believe you.
You can come on here, Ron, and be funny, but not at my expense.
No, this is exactly what I expected or wanted at least. I didn't want him to kiss your butt.
Right.
Especially not now. Oh my God! And you said you're part of a motorcycle club,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A good friend of mine, dear friend of mine, is DJ Slice. Dear friend
He's
of
a
mine.
good friend of mine.
Punishers.
Good friend of mine.
Yeah, man. We came up in a music game together. When he lived in Florida, I met him. I went down there, stayed with him.
Dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
great guy.
solid dude.
That's like my little brother, man. Like, you gotta
yeah.
rein him in sometimes, but he's the man. I love what he's doing. I'm proud of him.
He's a
DJ
good guy.
Slice, man. He always.
What I like
smells
about
good.
him is he keeps it. He doesn't forget where he comes from. He's a Wildwood guy. He's always, representing Wildwood. Make sure he gives back to the community. I mean, he's been all over.
Absolutely.
But he's always brings it back home, and I can appreciate that. The guy is just down to earth, dude.
Yeah, he's like I said, I've known him for years, man. He's just I watched him come up and do it himself. He branded himself. It's great. It's great to watch him do it. We talk every day. We play Fortnite every day, him and I.
Yeah, solid dude.
Yeah, he's a solid dude. I love him and his wife and his kids. So that's funny that you said that. So when did you decide when did you decide you're gonna marry her? Was that like something right off the bat, or is that
I'm gonna be real with you. So yeah, I loved it. I love her. I've loved her for a long time, actually.
Good.
And at the end of the day, we sat and I just told her, I said, we've known each other. I know you inside and out already, but the true driving force, I mean, I'm in love with her for sure, but the true driving force was she needed health care in the moment. And I told her, I said, listen, I love you now. Why wait? Let's get that in place.
Yeah.
So that, because the way disability works is ridiculous. You go on permanent disability, you have to leave your job, and then you have to wait 2 years to get health care. But they're the people that need the most. But anyway, I don't want to make it sound like we got married because she needed health care, but it drove the acceleration of
right.
The time that we got married, because I was like, let's just do it. Let's just dive in. Let's get it done and move forward with our lives.
Right. Do you ever think yourself as you're walking up to the door? Like, do you have any thoughts, like any bad thoughts? I don't want to say bad thoughts. How do I want to word it? Like, do you have any fears coming into this? Like, all right, you're married, and here we are. Here she is, 3,500 rounds of chemo later. Do you have any fears like moving forward? Is it in your mind, or you just block that shit out?
I'll be honest, the way I live, and I think it frustrates her a lot of times because she's a talker. Number one, I'm not a talker, she'll tell you. I mean, when it comes to deep, like emotional, bring it out, it's not me. Sure. But I live, the honest thing is, I live like she's not sick. And people tell me that's not the right way you're going to get. I'm going to be heartbroken if something happens to her anyway.
Absolutely.
Whether it's from cancer, car accident, whatever, heart attack, whatever. So I live like there's nothing wrong with her.
Right.
That's how I live. That's how I look at it. And that's how I go. And I get angry sometimes at her because she'll go, oh, I might only have a year. I might only have 6 years. I say, you might have 30 years. You don't know.
Right.
So we live this life. I don't know. I could be dead tomorrow, and I know with her sickness, the likelihood is, it's not going to be a good ending at the end of the day, but I don't think of it like that. I cherish the time I have. The only thing I will say that I live differently knowing her condition is I try not to lose time. I try not to lose those moments, where sometimes when you're tired or, work and stress, you put them on the back burner. And the benefit of being with somebody that has a condition like hers, you appreciate every day, and every hour that you have. So I go into it with that mindset.
That's a good mindset. I think and we had the conversation, Ange and I think that helps. I think that helps overall. Yeah. Like, I think that's what's kept her here. I think she looks fabulous. You couldn't tell that,
nope.
You can't tell that she has, that she's dying. You can't say stage
nope.
4 cancer, whatever, and it's, I think being positive and having you there, thank God, just keeps it, keeps the positivity there. I mean,
yeah, I think. I mean, she could probably answer that better than me, but I think it really does keep her grounded. It keeps her give something else to look forward to and live for. So, but I'll let her answer that. It's probably better for her to answer that.
Yeah, Ange, you answer that.
First and foremost, like for Ron and I, we're gonna hit our 2-year anniversary next month in July. But I'll tell you what, when I say that I feel like I've been married to this man forever in a good way, I mean that with like every piece of my soul. So 2 years may sound like nothing to people, but it feels like a lifetime to me. So I guess that's the way you feel when you find your person.
Yeah.
So, but I think I go back and forth, and I know sometimes, I have my moments with Ron, and I know he's not, I'm very, like he said, I'll say whatever, I'll talk about whatever, but I do have my moments with him where it's, one day I feel great. I feel like I look good. So, people, the doctors got it fucking wrong, but then chemo specifically, and Ron will tell you, coming up to my next round of chemo, going through being sick from chemo, is I think where I have my worst moments. I think where I really start getting deep in thought and, like this shit is for the birds. Like, I'm going to die young and I'm going to miss out on so many things with my best friend, my husband, so it's really hard sometimes,
Yeah.
But I think a healthy dose of denial, if you want to call it, helps push you through life and helps you cope with the shit that's really hard.
Yeah. I can't agree with you more. I think a healthy dose of denial. We'll say denial and reality too, I think. But again, I just think it's working for you. You're not just giving up.
Yeah. And and then that's hard for me too, because I love the fact that people support Ron and I and our journey and the cancer journey. It's really it's really easy to tell someone to fight when they're not having the chemo. I mean, I just spoke to someone just last week who, she's had 5 rounds of chemo, and she's, she went into remission. She has to return to chemo, and she's like, I don't think I can do it. I don't want to do it. But she's feeling a lot of pressure because everyone's like, fight. You don't want to lose the battle. If it's going to save your life, why wouldn't you want to do it? The chemo is literally killing you just the same as cancer. Like, it's just killing you slower than the cancer. So it's such a double-edged sword, and I get sad a lot too. And Ron will attest to this, because I don't want to miss those moments with him. I don't want to miss those moments with anyone. I want to, you get real deep in thought when you think about like, shit, this might be the last time I put up the Christmas tree, or,
Right.
it's just an incredible experience that you can't really put into word, the thought process and how you live with something like this every day.
Yeah.
But I remember telling my mom when I first got diagnosed, I was like, oh, I'm not anyone's mother. I'm not anyone's wife. The only thing I really had was my career. And, so how do I identify myself? And God is really good, and timing is really good of giving you what it is that you're supposed to have in life and what you need in life before your time is up.
Yeah. No.
And the part, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no.
the part that people, Angie's a tough bitch for sure, but the part people don't see all the time is they see Ange like, oh, she looks like she's good, but the part that people don't see is the fighting part. Every 3 weeks, she can't make it up the steps. We're carrying her to steps. I'm tucking her in. She's begging, I don't want to do this again. This is the last time. I don't want this. And, that's a heartbreaking thing to see. So reality comes every 3 weeks for us, when you don't think about it, you don't think about it, you don't think about it. And then when it's here, those 4 days are not pretty 4 days. If I had a camera in here for sure, you would, people would see the struggles that she really goes through. So sometimes I think people don't really understand, because when they see her, she's bubbly, she's funny, she's laughing, she's joking. It's not a big deal, but people don't see she's fighting for her life. And at the end of the day, she's fighting for her life. So
do you guys have a lot of talks about post Ange?
Yeah, she tells me if I put a bitch on the back of the bike, she'll come back and kick her off.
Let the world know. Let the world know.
That sounds like Ange.
Yeah. We don't, maybe it's not fair to her. I don't like those conversations, because for me, the end's not here.
Of course.
And I always tell her, we'll figure that the fuck out when it's time to figure that out.
Right.
Just keep fighting, be here. And you don't know. I could go before you.
Yeah.
Then I'll have to kick some dude out of my house. But I don't think on those terms. So we don't have a lot of those conversations now.
Okay.
We just had to go do kind of the logistics of everything. We had to go get the funeral plot. We had to pay for that way it's out of the way, because I certainly would rather do it when she's healthy, air quotes healthy.
Right.
Than when I'm watching my wife potentially take her last breaths, So we wanted to get that knocked out. So we did that, and they stirred up some conversations of, what things look like here and there. And that is also a reality check. But
yeah, sure.
Normal day-to-day basis, I cut her off kind of when we want to have those conversations, because I always tell her that we ain't close to the end. We'll figure that out when it's close.
Right. Between us two girls, Ron, how's her life insurance? Is it good, or what are we talking about here?
I wish we had good life insurance. Because I have a good 401k, so I got that in the back of my mind.
There you go, baby. And you're good for something, girl.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what.
God, I mean, geez, man. I can't imagine the conversation. Oh, God.
We joke about it a lot, too. We'll be sitting in a car, and he knows, like, I like to play the air drums, and I like to sing wrong lyrics and things like that. And I'd be like, and I'll turn to him and be like, who's going to sing like this to you when I'm gone? No one. So we do, we do.
She's the best musician without any instruments.
That's right.
No, you're saying, I'm sure she is.
That's right.
I'm sure. Did you ever ride motorcycles before, Ron? And or no? Were you a cycle?
Oh, I've been on motorcycles before, yeah.
What?
But nothing like, nothing like what we do now. And, since my diagnosis, I have been super hungry for just giving back. Giving back to the community, making a stamp on this world, being there for people who need it, whether it be veterans, cancer, because Ron's a vet, 82nd
Wow.
Airborne.
Thank you for your service.
Thanks, Mom. Appreciate you.
So and that's another thing Ron and I share. He's, you know, giving back to the community,
Yeah.
you know, being there for others, you know, making things count. So that's another thing that we're very passionate about together.
That's awesome. I mean, I see you wanted to do that, and I know it's hard being you know, going through what you're going through to actually have to, you know, leave the house after what you're going through for you know, well, how many good days in a month do you have after that, you know?
I think we calculated that once before, right?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you figure she does it every 3 weeks, so she's got 11 good days out of 3 weeks. So, you know, because, and then even in those 11 days, you figure like today she's stressed because it starts tomorrow. So you take a day away. The weekend before, she's like, oh shit, I got to go back. So, I mean, even that mental, you know, I don't know how she does it. I'll be honest with you. I mean, to think every it's really every 2 weeks, because by the time she feels herself again, now she's thinking about what's next and where's next. So, I mean, I don't know how that, I really don't know how she goes through data. I mean, hell, when I go to the dentist, I'm stressed for a month, you know.
You and me both, buddy. I don't know how she does it.
I don't either.
I mean, we're talking like she's not here, but I don't know how you do it, and honestly,
I keep super busy. Listen, the whole weekend and the day before chemo, I spend all my time doing all the laundry, doing all the cleaning, doing, you know, running to the food store, making sure there's stuff in the house because I'm down 3-4 days. So, you know, and Ron's at work, so there's no one getting these things done. So I just keep myself super, super busy and super focused. Am I dreading tomorrow? Hell to the fucking yeah. Like who wouldn't? Because I know that, like, you know, and it's really hard too, because, and I feel for Ron sometimes because, you know, we have to schedule our whole life around chemo. So there's like, oh, you know, there's something we want to do on, let's say the 13th, not going to be able to do it because I'm gonna be sick in bed, you know, and he's going to be taking care of me. So there's that kind of thing that happens. But honestly, when it comes to the chemo, once I start feeling really, really good, more like myself, I'm right back in it.
Right.
You go right back into chemo. So I think that is the toughest part, where it's like, but why do I have to go? I feel so good.
Right. And when is your next scan?
So my next scan is it's supposed to be next month, but I have to push it back since we had to reschedule chemo and for the 4th, so we can be on the Hometown Hero.
That's right.
So I'm trying to get it pushed back again. They're going to kill me when I go in there tomorrow because after this round, number 26 is scheduled for the 4th of July. And I'm not trying to be sick on the 4th of July. So I'm going to ask them to reschedule that one as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I'll probably get pushed back until August for scans.
Okay. Ron, do you have any say in her skits at all?
She gives me a list usually, 1, 2, or 3. What do you want to do? And normally she don't pick the one I pick, but I do have some say in what she does.
Doesn't shock me.
I'm the videographer. That's it. So
I was going to say, you hold the camera, right?
Yeah, so I get yelled at the whole time. It's not high enough. It's not this way. Turn this way. I got to come this way. I got to do this. So I just go with the flow.
You are a saint, Ron. You are a saint.
He is. He's such a good sport. Like, and I'm talking loudly and I'm like, this has to be done, but this is my vision. Just trust me and do this and do that. I mean, he is such a good sport, you know, and I just,
That's I mean, oh man, Ron, like he's a 1 in a million.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about that.
He's a 1 in a mine.
Right. Because I don't know if I could actually do something. Like, I don't know if I have that in me. I don't know if
I didn't know if I had it in me either, but you know, you love somebody, you do what you got to do. That's it.
I mean, this is like a really true case, like love story. It's first of all, you should have cameras following you around in the house. I would love to see that. Like, you should document the
We
rest
should document.
of what you got going on. Do you ever think of that?
It's not a bad idea, actually.
Of like
Just document, maybe, you know. I mean, in my head, since I'm a creative person like that, I would say, you know, maybe days leading up to chemo, and then chemo, you doing a skit,
we
like you
did,
doing a
yeah.
skit, that kind of thing,
We
and then
did talk about that, about filming, kind of, because remember, babe, we were talking about like everyone just sees like the funny dancing, but no one sees like the real
yeah,
me trying to get up the stairs, you know,
yeah,
Ron trying to get me out of bed. No one
yeah,
sees like the real deal when it comes to this stuff.
almost like a vlog of what you know, what it's really like. Even though like here you put on the brave face, you guys are joking about it, we're all joking about it, but there's a seriousness to this shit, right? I mean, there's a reality to it, right? And it's when you come home from the drip, I guess we'll call it, and then you know, and then you have 4 days of just, I guess, I don't know what goes on in those 4 days with you. I can't even imagine.
Honestly, I brought that up to her. I wish she would do it, and I'll tell you why. You know, like I said, Ange likes the strong vision of her, which she is. Don't get me wrong; she is probably the strongest person I know.
100%.
But I do think there's value in showing that to get more awareness. Because, like I said, when people see, I mean, she's sexy, she's in good shape, she's got a nice body. She, like you said, you could look at her. You could look at her and think she's perfectly healthy, you know?
Right, sure.
But I think to really get the true awareness, I think that's a piece of it that's important, because people will actually get to see what the true reality of, you know, the fight is, you know.
I agree with that, Ron. I think it helps. I think it also helps from the point of you could have called it the first round. You know, you could have called it a year ago, 2 years ago, right?
Oh, I almost did.
Right, you could have called it, but your positivity, here you are, right? Your positivity's got you alive, fighting till you can't fight no more. You're fighting, you're still fighting. There's no quit in you. So I think having people see that, as well as, you know, see you joking around and having fun with it, as well as the reality of it, you know, your husband helping you and you struggling through it, and you know, mentally and physically. So
we need someone to come in here with some cameras and shit. Where's all the documentary people, real world? We need like a reality show.
Yeah, I mean,
because my luck would be Ron's trying to videotape me going up the stairs and I fall and break my neck.
Right. He should not be the cameraman at all. No. That would be horrible.
Yeah.
He'd have to do 2 things, 3 things at once. No, like, where are the documentary people that want to?
Yeah, like I have no issue showing my vulnerable side. Like I just, you know, I want people to see the real stuff too. But then, you know, I just Ron can't be my videographer for that, because I need him to, you know.
Ron needs his flowers. People need to see Ron work. He's the star of this show. Once you're gone, he's the star. We're gonna push it and have a sequel. Right. You know what I mean?
Because the truth is, and the part people don't say, I mean, I'll just tell you a quick story. And, you know, we were in bed, I don't know how long ago, a few weeks ago. And I was checking her pulse because she didn't feel right. And the next morning she said, I woke up last night, and she's like, were you checking my pulse? You thought I was out of this world, didn't you? But
you thought I was dead, you motherfucker.
But it's the reality of living with it in some ways, you know, because you get scared over things that, you know, don't feel right, or you should not breathe right, or you don't hear, or, you know, so you're always conscious to make sure she's okay, you know, because and that's what people don't, I think, sometimes realize, is that it really is every day. How is she doing, you know, and is she going to be here tomorrow?
Yeah. That's wow. I don't know how to follow that up.
Listen, I mean, people forget that, you know, people really like to focus on the cancer patient, and they should, you know, because we are fighting for every minute of every day, you know, but there is something to be said for all the people who care for the sickly and the ill, because they're in this too. Like, like I told you
Absolutely.
before, Marco, Ron leaves work every day that I'm down of chemo, and he's the one who has to come in this house. And hopefully I'm alive. So it takes a
Right.
brave person, right?
Right.
And then he's got to try to get my moody ass out of bed when I can hardly stand on my own 2 feet. So
right.
it's takes so much grace, so much strength and bravery, because when you have a loved one, husbands, wives,
Right.
people that you're taking care of who are ill, it takes so much.
Ron, do you ever like when you're sticking the key in that door, do you ever like pray or like say, oh man, or you just say, you don't even think about it, you just go in and
I'll be honest with you. Most of the time I don't think about it. I just come
Good.
home and think it's going to be business. But I mean, I have driven home where I haven't heard from her via text and pray to God that I'm not coming home to something that's not going to be good. And that will take a toll sometimes. But generally, I try not to think about it. But there's been times where I've said a prayer on the way home. So I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She's pretty good about texting me even when she's sick to say, hey, I got up, I peed, I'm back in bed, or whatever, But there's been times when it's been a scary ride home, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Because what happens is with the chemo, you have such awful eye and hearing sensitivity. So I can't be on my cell phone. It hurts me physically. And any kind of light hurts me, sounds like, so I'll often just try to sleep through 3-4 straight days as best as I can. But then that's not good, because that's when you get your blood clots, and I'm getting dehydrated because I'm not getting any food or anything. But
right.
I really try my best to be strong for Ron.
Yeah.
And to be strong, because now we have a dog, Stella. So now it's, my focus is, I want to make sure she gets out and goes to the bathroom. So I'm trying really hard, to not be as bad for Ron, and not be as bad for the dog and whoever's coming in, or whatever the case may be. And I think that helps me in a certain way as well.
But I will plug service dogs, because we give this service dog charity, and our dog's not a service dog technically, but it gives her something to live for. Honestly, it gives her, you think about it, you lose your job, you lose everything that you've known, and it just gives her somebody else that she needs to care for. So when she's on chemo, instead of laying in bed for 12 hours, she's getting up. She wants to make sure that, it is a companion for her. I work, and so it's a companion for her. And believe me, it's made a difference just in the 6 months we've had the dog.
That's great. That's
good
to hear.
Those kind of things are important.
Yeah, absolutely. I when I started this podcast, it was just I was going to do music and maybe touch on some other things, and then I saw Ange and let me see how she's doing. Interesting, and we got to talking on the podcast, and I was like, man, she needs to be my co-host, and I got to tell you, I don't want to do it without you. I never thought I'd want another co-host at all, but I got to say, Ange, I don't like doing it without you. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Didn't like that. I think I found like the perfect, co-host, and thank you, Ron, for letting her do it, and not,
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, not that he tells you what. Oh God, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to get on her bad side, Ron. That is. You know what I mean? Like, thank you for letting her joke around.
He doesn't even know. He hasn't done anything yet to get on my bad side. He hasn't seen that yet.
He I doubt he will. You working on it? Let him come hang out with me for a night. We'll get him into some trouble.
Oh, this poor man. Every night I'm like, just remember, I go, you go.
Holy God.
I'm taking him with me, Marco.
Oh, Lord. Jeez. Don't say that. The world
And I
needs more
just want to
people
make
like
one
him.
more point. I want to
Of
make
course.
one more point, and I think it's an important point that people listen to. You know, Ange has lung cancer, and the problem with lung cancer is when people hear lung cancer, automatically think, well, that's her dumb fault. That's her own fault. Smoke a cigarette. She has lung
Yeah.
cancer. But the lung cancer she has is not from smoking cigarettes. But people have a stigma with lung cancer that's your fault. So deal with it. So I don't think lung cancer gets the same backing that a lot of the other, you know, breast cancer is big because God bless what's the
Susan B.
foundation?
Komen.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, they've done a really good job of marketing it, and they bring in a ton of money. But lung cancer, for whatever reason, has that stigma that it's your fault. And so I think it's
You're
important
right.
people understand that that's not the case. And even if it's the case, humanity dictates that, you know, because even if it was because she smoked, let's say,
that has no,
you know, you shouldn't, you know, we still need to get the money, get the funds so that they can
100%.
find a cure for it. You know
There's
what I
got to
mean?
be a cure for this shit. Seriously. I mean,
And it
I'm sure there
pisses me
is.
off. I mean, I feel like we should be a lot closer. I mean, cancer's been around for how long? I mean, even when you look at other diseases like HIV, for example,
Right.
yeah, there's not a cure, but there's super manageable medicine that will help you elongate your life. That
Yeah,
cancer
look at Magic
doesn't have.
Johnson. Magic
Yeah.
Johnson doesn't even have it anymore.
Exactly.
Oh, how does that happen?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. I love your dynamic between you two, and I had to have you on
Well, I
an
appreciate you
episode
having me on, bro.
and you know, talk about it and get your point of view and see if this guy was for real. And he is for real.
He's not make believe. He's for
not
real.
make believe.
No.
No. I know he's not make believe, but you know, Ron, thank you for joining.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you being so candid and honest and open and joking around and serious at the same time. So, I appreciate all you do for her, man. That's great, and more people need to follow in your footsteps.
Well, thanks. Appreciate that, man.
You know what I mean? Hopefully we'll get together soon and meet in person.
Yeah, we need to do that for sure.
Before you know, I don't want to meet you on bad terms. I want to meet you on good terms.
For my funeral.
I can't even say it. Like I give you guys so much credit. I don't even want to say it.
Where you're like, hey, sorry for your loss.
Oh yeah. Nice to finally meet you after.
Nice to meet you. Sorry for your loss.
Right. I mean, come on. It's horse shit. I don't want to do that. So
yeah, we got to get together for sure.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'll talk to the other half, and we'll set it up. So,
all right, perfect.
Yeah, I'll be down to question you about who called you crazy.
No. Leave him alone. This is no. That's his sources. You can't.
That's right.
He's a journalist in this case.
Time.
Yeah, you can't do that to him. I mean, you can, but stay strong, Ron. Don't let her beat you down.
She won't get far. Don't worry.
She won't get you. All right, Ron. I'm gonna let you go, and thank you for coming in there. And like I said, we're gonna hang out very soon, man. I appreciate you.
Perfect. Talk to you, brother.
Bro. All right, buddy.
Love you.
Ah, he's the real deal, Ange. How about that?
Yeah.
He's the real deal. Yeah, man.
He's so good.
I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a likable dude.
I already knew he was a good person. Slice had nothing but good things to say. So
yeah.
You know what I
DJ
mean?
Slice always smelling nice.
He's always smelling nice, and I told him he's got the best part in his hair. He's got the best part.
I know.
I can't get my shit to do that. Yeah, man, it is on point. I don't like giving him compliments because he's got a big head already. We bust each other's balls all the time, but he's got great part in his hair. So,
DJ Slice always smelling nice. Hair you won't find not one lice. See?
Are you freestyling right now? Is that?
I am.
Wow.
You hear that?
He's freestyling, Ron. I know Ron's still in the green. Ron's still in the green room.
Oh, okay.
I got a stripper pole in there, so he's got the strippers in there with him.
There's no food, and I'll punch you right in the face, Marco. I'll be down there real quick, like
in the green room. Yeah,
I don't roll like that.
I know you don't. I would never. Trust me. If you knew me, you would know. You would know that ain't my style. But I guess we'll wrap it up tonight, and we'll I'm glad you're here. I'm glad it was. Last week was just for family matters, not for health matters.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, unfortunately. But stay tuned. Big announcement tomorrow. Exciting.
how are you not
And
going to do it on our podcast? But I gotta. Which I'm gonna put your name up there soon. I gotta
I don't
work
know
on
who's
it.
gonna listen to it. My name's there. I see it.
No. I need to put you in the title. It's gotta be and Ange.
Okay.
Gotta put an Ange in there.
Okay.
You're just as big as part of it as me. Got it?
Got
And
it.
it's in your contract. If not, your lawyer's going to get after me.
You
Your
got it
agent.
good.
I gotta start. I gotta start doing right by you. If not, you're gonna leave and start your own podcast. You and Ron.
No. Even though people tell me to, like,
You should.
I don't even know where to begin with that. So it's
the
you know
Fuck
what?
Cancer podcast.
I don't even know. I mean, I don't even think people would like listen. So
I would say Not Quite Dead podcast or the Almost Dead podcast or I would dude, let me be your manager. I'd manage you in a second.
the Keep in Touch, the Keep in Touch podcast.
No. The Keep in Touch no. You want it to be something out there and people are like, well, what does that mean? Almost Dead podcast. Well, yeah, look at my
One
story.
Foot in the Grave.
Oh my god. Ah, jeez. Ron, if you're listening, we can make money off this before she goes, man.
I'm supposed to be writing a book, and that's supposed to be my title to the book.
So write it. Are you writing it? Are you not writing? Are you serious? You're supposed to be writing and you're not doing your job?
I lost my motivation. I lost my motivation.
No, you gotta write it. Just like you gotta get cameras in there and document your life.
I know.
It is. I'm gonna ask around. I know people in the music business, but not the film business. I don't want anybody to charge you either.
That's all right. I'll get it is what it is. Like everything happens. Like you get real known. Like I'm not doing any of this to get famous or anything. So
no, it's not about that.
So famous.
Yeah. It's not about that. I mean, it is for me, but not for you.
Yeah. Well, when I die, people are gonna be like, "Did you know this chick was on the Not So Famous podcast?"
Oh my god! Me and Ron we're gonna count the dollar bills, baby.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna make it rain.
And then at 3 a.m.
He's gonna
when you fall down the stairs, you're gonna be so
you're gonna get pushed. Ron's gonna get pushed down the steps.
At 3 a.m., a big push, and then you're gonna hear it's Britney, bitch.
Oh my goodness, jeez, I wouldn't. Oof.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that because I don't want to be. I don't want you to show up at my crib and hold me down.
Don't forget too, because I prep. Like I have prepping time here, right before I die. So
prepping.
You never know what I have up my sleeve.
I can only imagine what you have up your sleeve.
I got plans. I got eyes. I got ears everywhere, whether I'm here or not.
Poor Ron, guy's an angel.
I know what's up.
And you're gonna shackle him down, and in death you're gonna shackle him down. Poor guy. All right, Lance, let's get out of here. Hey, you know how to bring us out of here? Huh? Would you like to give it a shot? How to bring us out of here? How do you end a show?
You just say peace. Peace out.
Oh, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Make sure you go to the Not So Famous, subscribe, iTunes, Apple Music. Come on, Ange.
No, just tell everyone. No, okay. Well, you do it.
I'm gonna let you end it. I'm not gonna say shit. I'm gonna let you.
Tune in. Y'all keep it real and keep it safe.
That's your ending.
That's my ending. Yeah.
All right, guys. That's. I'm gonna let Ange end it on that, and we'll see you next week on the Whatever Ange Says podcast.
Freaky. Peace.
Peace.